Tracy Reed here, and I'm up with my very first video in the 12 by 12 to Traveler's Notebook sketch series with Create, Craft, Repeat. And this week you're looking at the sketch I'm going to be turning into a Traveler's Notebook spread. Now I am going to be working in my oldest son's Traveler's Notebook, and this is a picture of him rock jumping on one of our tubing trips down the Little River. And I wanted to do some playful colors, but most importantly when I am scrapping in my Traveler's Notebook is I love to use scraps. I don't want to use up a whole piece of paper, 12 by 12 paper for a Traveler's Notebook layout, so I always reach into my scrap box and find papers that will work together. So these could be older papers or newer papers, but they're always going to be scrap papers. So I'm going to use this blue as base for the sketch, and then I'm going to use this yellow on top of the blue for the sketch. And you can see I'm just trimming it down. I'm kind of just free-handing it, eyeballing it, and making it work. Making sure I like the colors together. And you're going to see me try to use this brown, it's a wood veneer in arrows, kind of a tribal paper, over and over and over again, and I end up not using it. And I don't use the stripe paper either, but you'll see me trying to work that in as well. But it never actually makes it on the layout because they don't, the stripes and the colors in the stripes didn't match. As bright and lovely as they were, it was too much for the mood I was going for. So I'm going to replace this wood strip with these feathers instead. And the colors are slightly different, but not too much. I thought it still went fine. Still trying to work that stripe paper in. Not going to happen. So I'm going to look at the B-sides on some of these papers I already have pulled out. And this white paper is going to work perfectly as a photo mat. So I don't know why I do this every time, but I always glue down my photo and then cut it instead of just measuring it. I mean, the photo was 3.5 inches. I could have just cut a 4-inch square, but no, now I gotta go back in and trim it again. Okay, so I've got the photo matted and I'm liking the way that the colors are going together, but that wooden arrow paper is just not gonna work for me. First, before I replace it though, I'm gonna pull out I'm trying to find a circular label to match the sketch, but I don't have any in any colors that I want to use. So I'm gonna pull out this, I believe it's Simple Stories from an older line. I'm gonna pull out this journaling spot instead of a circle. You can see me, I'm just trying to see if there's anything else I want to use. I'm going to pull out this rad tag, but I don't end up using it in this layout. I'll use it later. So you can see me trying to work it in, but then I put it aside, and that looks good. I think I'm going to use that as my journal spot. So I'm just going to cut a notch out of this to make it a banner shape. And the other side as well. I'm not a big measurer. I like to freehand things. I tend to get it pretty much right anyway. Years and years and years of practice. But I'm not one for measuring anyway, especially in my Traveler's Notebook. I feel like my Traveler's Notebook can be less perfect than my 12 by 12 layouts. I'm not sure why I feel that way. Maybe because it's just a smaller format, and so differences and little inconsistencies won't be as noticeable. But yep, my Traveler's Notebook is just for fun. So when Kira invited me to collaborate with her over on Create, Craft, Repeat, I was super excited because I'm just getting into this YouTube thing, and it's fun that people already want to collaborate with me. I've been doing Instagram videos for a while. I was doing the time-lapse ones that go super fast, but I thought I'd try my hand at actually talking through my process and seeing if I could get anything interesting if I went a little bit slower. So I'm loving that we are working on this Traveler's Notebook together. I've been working with Traveler's Notebooks for a while now. Kira's newer to it, so it's fun to see what we both come up with. I found myself really sticking to the sketch, whereas Kira took a little bit more liberties with it, which I think is interesting. That we just took it in two completely different directions. So now, instead of this wooden arrow paper, I'm going to pull out this wooden scallop from my winter collection from last year with Simple Stories. I remembered that it was in there, and I preferred to have a scallop since the scallop was on the sketch, and like I said, I'm trying to stick as close to the sketch as possible. And I can't ever waste anything, so I just took that extra little scallop there and put it underneath the photo. And now I'm pulling out my Cabin Fever line, which is the camping line that I designed for Simple Stories that's out right now. I figured these adventurous sort of stickers would go good with rock jumping in the river, but I ended up using the flowers as clusters instead. I'm so happy that I always add these flower clusters into the stickers for my Simple Stories lines because they make super easy clusters. You don't even have to think about it, especially in a traveler's notebook, because you don't want to add too much bulk in a traveler's notebook. Well, I always add a ton of bulk in my traveler's notebook. I add more than most people, but even I like to keep my pages as flat as possible. So these stickers are perfect for layering when you're not trying to add too much bulk to your layout. So I'm going to add another one here, and the sketch called for washi tape, so I'm adding the washi tape above the photo. It's not low enough for me. Quick, peel it off before it ruins the photo. Perfect. Now I'm going to add one at the bottom of the page. And I always do this. I always have to pull up stickers, pull up papers, and hope that it doesn't rip anything, because I'm always reverse engineering my layering. So I'm going to trim this off right here. And this Traveler's Notebook spread is almost done. Need to add my journaling in. So I'm thinking about what I want to say here. Oh yeah, I forgot to add in the stitching from the sketch. Now, I'm not going to stitch in my Traveler's Notebook, especially not directly on the page, so I figured that I would hand draw in some sketchy stitching. So here I am just using the circle as a template to draw in, and I'm writing with pencil, and then I will go back over it with my pen, since you can't see the pencil. I'm just using a precision pen, I think a 03. I like my line to be a little bit thick and bold so you can actually see it. And now I'm erasing the pencil lines. Make sure you always write really softly with your pencil so it's easy to erase. And now I'm adding in my journaling, and I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing. But I'm basically just talking about how they got ahead of us when we were rafting, and when we found them they were cliff jumping. Alright, and it's all complete. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe. And make sure you check out Kira's video over on her channel, and I'll link it below. Thank you!